Wolfgang Coy, Senior Advisor and Senior Professor, Humboldt-Universität, Berlin. Save or delete? Long-term preservation of digital artifacts.
Yes, I'm different in my view from the other speakers, I should say, because I'm looking backward first, not forward. Computers, 75 years of Z3 meant primarily a processor which is more or less that what we have nowadays as processors. But a computer is not only a processor, it's also a storage device. And this is something which is usually overlooked if you're talking about computers. There are some things additionally, programs, algorithms, network, of course. But storage is very important, and it was also important for Konrad Zuse. He could have used punched cards, but they were expensive and beyond reach for him. He knew from TH Charlottenburg certainly the punched paper tape, but this was also very expensive. And he had this wonderful idea to take a movie, a 35 millimeter movie, a disused one, given by a friend, or however you explained it. It came into his lap, and he punched it and used it as a reserve punch tape. Not a tape, a punch films, so to say. Well, this was not really the storage device, because only programs were written on that tape. But Zuse thought about programs and the machine. And when IBM entered the computer field with a little bit more of money and intentions, of course they related back to the punched card. But there were new developments in the 30s. The magnetic tape for audio and MPEGs for video, and also useful for data. So magnetic tape came, then the magnetic drum, the floppy disk, the optical disks, then a next step, semiconductors, and nowadays a lot of people think that storage is somewhere in the cloud, whatever that is. Perhaps it's the same technology deep inside. If we look at what happened in that time, we will find astonishing numbers. Steve Jobs would say amazing, 400 million better storage density. The price went in the other way also about that. It's a wonderful development, but average access time, if you take a look at that, became better by 200, which means the hard disk is more or less doomed. And in fact, we are going to semiconductor storage nowadays. What does that mean? Quite a lot. But storing is close to archiving. What do we want to preserve? And this is a small question I want to present here, because I can't talk about storage. It's a question of organization. What do we want to keep? It's a question of culture. What do we want to preserve? And it's a question of technical attitude and a question of economical possibilities. And it demands that we have deep rules how to behave with storage. And this means no longer we should say we keep it because one never knows whether we may have it, should have it. We must decide this needs preserving and this can be deleted. And this is a deep step for technicians, because they want to keep everything, of course. But we have to learn and teach our customers that they have to throw away things, but make it knowledgeable, not simply by waiting until it's unreadable. That's my message. Thank you.